Building a successful business takes more than hard work. It takes wisdom. I just returned from a conference of top advisors where we had a chance to hear from the NFL Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith. His stories from the football field aren't just about sports, they're about life, legacy, and leadership. And today I want to share three takeaways that Emmitt shared with us that every business owner can be able to apply to help them be successful. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this.
Welcome in. This is Legacy Beyond Wealth. We're glad you're here with us today. I'm Ben George with Rob Shelton, founder of Axio Wealth Management. And a good topic as we're in the middle of football season, Emmitt Smith. I think the younger generation still know who that is, right, Rob? I mean, he's a name that will be around the game for a while.
I hope so. One of the great runners that is out there. And what an amazing story he has. But yes, hopefully people still remember who he is.
I like this video. I know there's always a lot to learn from people in all professions, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a financial planner or you're listening to someone speak about your industry. You can pick up a little things from successful people in any area of life because a lot of the same principles carry over.
It does. And it reminds you, sometimes we think about successful people and like, oh, they have all that talent and they didn't have any trials or hardship. But when you hear their story, you can usually relate because we all on the trail to success, the path to success, come across trials that are there. And it's about how you handle those and are able to overcome it. And I think that helps give people that hope to be able to make it through, to persevere, to be able to seek that greatness that they want for themselves.
Absolutely. And Emmitt Smith was great. NFL's all-time leading rusher, but those lessons go far beyond the game. I know he learned a lot about the power of team, danger of sudden money, and the importance of never giving up. And I want to kind of dive into this with you a little bit, but having heard him in person, what stood out to you the most?
One of them is his humility and talking about seeing success early on at a very young age, but how he had to learn humility a little bit through that, and that it wasn't all about him. And sometimes that's hard for us as we start to see success. We start to think of just ourselves and then others around us. He had a lot of wisdom on discipline for money that's out there that can come with issues with sudden wealth. And, how he applied these experiences to help entrepreneurs was really impressive.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm sure he had some really cool stories as well, which I'm sure you'll probably share a couple along the way. But I think that first lesson about teamwork, and I think this is something that we all, understand in life as we get older, right? Success often requires a team. Doesn't matter what area of life, but especially financially, right? I mean, it requires having multiple people on your side all working together.
Absolutely. And Emmitt shared a time when he was a freshman and they wanted to make sure that he didn't have a chance to talk to the media because sometimes that can be difficult in talking to the media and saying the right thing and things of that nature. And he remembered after one game, his coach came to him and said, okay, we're going to have you talk to the media. Just don't say anything stupid. Don't mess it up type of a thing. And he said he went out there and these media people, he said, have a great way to make you feel like it was all about you. And because the questions go about your performance. And he said that during that interview, he talked about himself, how he was seeing the holes that were there and how his running ability was. And at the end of that interview, he remembered his coach putting his arm around him, walking him back to the locker room and saying, you need to remember it wasn't just you out there, but you had that offensive line that was out there blocking for you all the time. And he said the next Monday he got to practice, and the very first handoff that he got, the whole offensive line just laid down and let the defense come right over and really teach him a lesson on humility pretty quick. And he never forgot that. And I think that's important for us to remember too. There's so many people around us that help us to become successful, and we can never forget about them. And our focus has to be about others and seeing how they're helping us and making sure we give them credit where credit is due.
Yeah, that's a great one, and I can see how quickly you'll learn that lesson if you have no one blocking for you, not full defense is coming at you. So that's very good. So how can we apply this as business owners then? These lessons of trying to acknowledge the team you have around you.
Yeah, I think that it's important to learn how to be able to acknowledge your team so they can feel that appreciation. It's one thing to say it, but it's another to help your team really feel that. So look for those contributions that are being made by those specific team members and see how you can best help them be able to feel of your appreciation and their value and worth to the organization. The other is to share credit for the wins and don't just take it for yourself. Sometimes as a business owner, there might be awards that are given through associations or other things of that nature. Make sure you share those experiences with your team, and it's just not about yourself. And then the other one that I thought was interesting is I was sitting there thinking about it. And in our business, the way that we work is we want to be big collaborators with other professionals in a business owner's life. Their CPA, their attorneys, the investment plan they have. We want all those voices to be connected. And I thought that was really important to take a look at and maybe make that assessment as a business owner. Is your team of professionals working together like an offensive line is to be able to open up those holes for you to be able to get through financially, or does it seem more like an uncoordinated team that's out there where the offensive line is just laying down and you're getting smeared in the back? So making sure that all those financial voices are coming together and that you have someone that's helping you coordinate that on a regular basis.
Are you ready to unlock the freedom to live your best life? Schedule your no-cost 60-minute discovery meeting with our team today. During this session, we'll take the time to understand your family story and financial dreams. Together, we'll craft a personalized roadmap designed to help you achieve your goals. Let's explore how we can unlock the freedom for you and your family to thrive. Just click the link in the description of today's show to get started.
I don't know if you've worked with Axio at all or you watch any of our videos, you probably learned how important and what a priority it is for Rob and the team to work with other professionals and have that team. It is something they care a lot about. And if you haven't, if you're just joining us, maybe the first video you've watched, go back to some of the earlier videos. You'll see more about that collaborative approach that they have at Axio Wealth and get a better understanding of how they work with multiple people and put that teamwork together to help benefit you. All right, lesson 2 from this Emmitt conversation. I know there's so much around the game, especially at the college level, about money. There's a lot of newfound money for these young athletes that are 18, 19, 20 years old. And most of them don't have that financial literacy to be able to really make this money work for them at such a young age.
Yeah, and this is one question that was posed to Emmitt about what he thought about the name, image, likeness known as the NIL in college. And he felt like, maybe the NCAA messed up a little bit in the very beginning by just making it the Wild West. And we saw some really big money making its way to some college athletes. Some of them were just 17 years old and they couldn't even sign a contract. Their parents had to sign those contracts on their behalf. And he talked about the issues and the dangers of sudden money and how it's very important to become disciplined to be able to see that. And, I look at that and, he talks about kids rolling up in Lamborghinis and things of that nature. And it can really destroy a life, or making it feel like you have to buy a home for mom and for dad and things of that nature. And the pressure that's sometimes put on these young individuals that really haven't had much to experience in life. They're just going out of high school and all of a sudden coming into this sudden wealth. So interesting to see him talk about the need for financial literacy and that we got to everybody have more financial literacy at younger ages to understand how to deal with money and your relationship with money.
Yeah, and that's why we do these videos every single week, right? Is to try to help make people understand the basics of financial planning and even some more of the detailed elements of financial planning and wealth management as well. But when you talk about financial literacy and just in terms of business owners, what does that mean for successful owners?
I think the biggest thing is we've talked about this so many times before, Ben, on this show, and that is making sure you build a team of professionals to be able to work with. Having their advice is going to be so critical. I can't tell you how many people that I've seen try to do it on their own, and it's a really difficult thing. And some are that talented that they're able to do it, but for most, they need that help and expertise to be able to navigate some of the complexities that come with money. And I just love meeting with a new client, being able to work with them, and after a year, seeing the progress they've made in living the life that they want to. And so money has a crazy way that if you don't control it, it controls you. And I think that's the biggest thing that came out of that kind of the same conversation with Emmitt, is making sure that you take those moments to receive that advice and that coaching that you need to help you be in control and not have it control you.
All right. So 2 lessons there. The third one here, that you have for us is never give up. So what did Emmitt stress to you guys for this to be one of your big takeaways?
Yeah, he talked about being in the NFL and his first year not getting a whole lot of touches. And that coach got replaced by another coach. And that coach came in and told him, I believe in you and I'm going to give you the ball 40 times a game. Are you ready? And that type of mentality really had him step up and change his mindset and really helped him to start to have a breakout career. And I thought about that as far as how does that relate to business owners and leaders today is look at team members that you have that are young, that have the potential to be able to be there. And how do you show that you believe in them and give them the opportunity to step up and to prove themselves? He also talked about that as his high school coach, pushing him as a freshman to be playing on the varsity team and seeing people be able to see in him something bigger than he could see in himself. And those people really made a difference in his life. He even gave the example of when he was on his high school football team, the first practice, the first 3 handoffs he got, he fumbled all 3 times. And he remembers his head coach pulling him aside and really giving him some tough love and letting him know that he can't do that he has to step up and be better, that if he's going to play at this level, this is what it has to be. So taking a look at your team members that are on your team, how do you show that you have a belief in them, but when they start to fumble the ball, how are you able to continue to let them know that that's not acceptable, that they got to keep it at a high level of performance, but still show belief in them and not crush them? And I think that's a unique thing to be able to have as a leader.
Yeah, I'm sure these are tough things, but this is what makes people successful in these tough times. And these tough conversations are part of that process. So it's interesting to kind of see that final message. And I know it's an important part about instilling belief. I'm sure that's something that you try to do every day with Axio, right?
Absolutely. And, he said something else. He says, what NFL stands for? Not for long.
Yeah.
Because football ends, businesses get sold, but the lessons you learn are a legacy that you can leave for your lifetime and have a huge influence even beyond your life. And that's really what the big game is about, the game of life and who you can be able to change and who you can be able to inspire. I know in my career, I've been inspired by great mentors, and I hope that I'm able to do that same thing and paying it forward down the road as well.
I love that. So the takeaways: building a team, master financial literacy, and never give up on yourself and your people as well. And again, these might be football lessons and you back it out a little bit more. They might be lessons for business owners, but really when you back it all the way out, Rob, they really are just life lessons, aren't they?
They are, absolutely. And success is about what you achieve. It's about who you become, right? And that's really at the end of the day, the best reward. It isn't some trophy or gold jacket that you get, but the character that was built along the way is really the true reward.
Very good. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. I know Emmitt is a very successful person and some good lessons. Although we couldn't be there, some things to take away from your time spent with him. But we appreciate that. If you have questions for Rob, all the contact information is in the show description as well. And make sure you take advantage of that discovery call to begin learning more about how they can help you and help your family be successful long term. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. We're back again next week with another one, so stay tuned.